Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. As you can see, I have a very, very special guest here today on the channel. None other than Mr. Jon Anderson himself. Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you very much.
Glad to have you. A true legend in the world of music and specifically progressive rock, which we talk so much about here on Sea of Tranquility. And John's got a fairly newish album that he's out promoting on the road, and we've been promoting here on the channel. Of course, that is Jon Anderson and the Band Geeks. It's called True,
Yeah,
out on Frontiers Records. Really great album. I do want to mention John because it just happened the other day. I was at an Iron Maiden concert in Newark, New Jersey, and I was spending some time having some dinner and a couple drinks with friends and my brother at a German restaurant bar right next door to the venue. And who comes up to me to say hello and thank me for my support on the album? Andy Graziano from the Band Geeks.
Andy. Yeah, that's good.
It was very cool to meet him, and yeah, we were chatting for a little bit. And so, I guess to start all of our conversation, how did you and the Band Geeks kind of meet up to do this album?
It's like a mystery and a very magical moment. Somebody that I know who works at Sirius Radio, he sent me a video of these guys doing Heart of the Sunrise, and I went, "Oh my God, these guys are so good!" And so I asked my friend, "Could you give me a phone number? I can call them up, you know." So I just called up Richie and said, "Richie, this is Jon Anderson, and I'm so happy that you're so good at what you do." And he said, "Is that really Jon Anderson?" I said, "Yes, it is, yeah." And so I just said, "Look, I've always wanted to go on the road and do epics and classics. It's an idea that I had years ago." We do Close to the Edge, Awaken, Gates of Delirium, and Starship Trooper, and on and on, you know. And he said, "I'd love to do it." He just said, "I'd love to do it." So within the space of a month or so, we started planning. Last year, August, we went on tour. We did 12 shows, and it gave us the opportunity to know each other and to work together. And I really felt so happy and comfortable, and we had a good time. And the audiences loved what they were hearing. So that was it. And then the next step was towards the last show, I said to Richie, "You know, we should make an album." He said, "Oh my God, yes, we should."
Well, I mean, Richie's
That
the
was
guy to
it.
talk to about that, right? Because I mean, I had Richie here on the channel last year, and we
Right.
talked at great length about how he was able to convince the guys in Blue Oyster Cult to go and record a new album a few years back. So I mean,
Right.
he's a pretty creative guy, and I think what's cool about the Band Geeks is like they have become like, over the last couple of years, they become like a little bit of a sensation on YouTube with all
Yeah.
their wild covers of prog classics. So like you picked a great bunch of guys. So you got Richie Castellano, Andy Assalis, is that how he says his name? Something like that.
There's
Andy
two
Graziano,
Andys.
Christopher Clark, Robert Kipp, and then you had some additional help with Anne-Marie Nachio on vocals. But
Yeah.
so how long did it take for the album to get kind of like put together, written and arranged before you guys actually went and recorded it? Was this something that came together pretty quickly? Were the ideas flowing between all of you?
Well, basically, I remember it was November, mid-November, because one of the great things about modern technology, we could actually Zoom each other as
Yeah.
we created. And so every Tuesday, we'd have a 3 or 4 hour session on the next idea, the next idea. So the first one I sent to him was a song I'd written many years ago called Counties and Countries, and just sent it to him, you know. And then within a 10-day period, he sent me this extraordinary structured piece of dynamic music out of a lovely, lovely song, you know. Uh, so I was mesmerized right away, and we just carried on the same path. And I said, "Well, I've got a couple more songs, and I'll send them to you." One was see my mind. I'm trying to think of the titles here. "Once Upon a Dream,"
Yep.
was one, and it was created with a friend of mine who just happens to be the lord of advertisement music. So he does that, and then he comes up with great music, and we've written a lot of music together over the years. So it just seemed like whatever I sent Richie, he was very excited about, and then he sent me the song "Shine On." I
Hmm.
said, "Perfect. Have you got any more?" And he sent me another couple, and then by December, we'd actually figured out the shape of the album. And then it was a question of January, February, it's ready, March 1st sort of thing, you know.
So a lot of the music was kind of worked on with Richie, and then you were able to kind of contribute the lyrics to all of these because I'm looking at like a
Yeah,
breakdown
yeah,
of writers. Yeah.
it's what I do. I remembered that one time we were doing Once Upon a Dream because it's an idea that started off with this sort of chant, sort of sort of thing. And then Richie got to a point where he said, What are we going to go now? We've got the song going. I said, well, we should go into a plateau energy where nothing happens, just sound very much like Close to the Edge. And Close to the Edge, the idea came from me listening to, I wrote him down, I wrote his name down. He's a woman now. He became a woman. Bless him. I'll have to look for it. Oh, it'll come. Walter Carlos,
Okay.
Sonic Seasoning. It is a magical piece of music that's just, there it is. It doesn't do any chorus or any, songs in a way. It's just this beautiful ambient sound. And I came up with that for Close to the Edge because I thought, we've been doing this for a long time. Why don't we just let go and let the sea of energy surround us, and then we'll come up with something in the middle. And that's basically what we did with Once Upon a Dream.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool song. I mean, it's I think the album is balanced really, really well because you have the two epics you just mentioned, Counties and Countries, Once Upon a Dream, and then you have like some shorter pieces that work really well. I mean, I know you love pop music. There's a little bit of that on this album too, but I
Yeah,
think for fans of your classic material with Yes from the 70s, there's a lot on this album that brings back like those same warm and fuzzies that we got all those years ago with songs like Awaken and Close to the Edge and You and I,
yeah,
Roundabout and whatnot.
yeah.
Is this just a matter of like you and the rest of the band really, really clicking to be able to create something like this?
Well, you get to a point where I found my way in the middle of the energy that was needed, and then I just turned around because Christopher was the keyboard player. I hope I got his name right. Christopher Cross or
Yep.
something like
Clark.
that.
Christopher Clark. Yeah.
What is it?
Clark.
Oh,
Christopher.
sorry,
Christopher Clark.
Christopher Clark. Bless him. He's quite amazing because he can play anything. So we got to a point. I said, "What are you going to do now?" We got the end of the part, and I've sang this line about waiting for love, and then this music opens up now, and I said, "Church organ," and they said, "Like Awaken?" I said, "Yes." So it was just fantastic.
That's good. So if we can go back a couple of years, I last saw you live when you were playing with the kids
Oh yeah,
from the school. I saw you in Sugarloaf, New York. I'm from the Hudson Valley here in New York, so you played a
yeah.
wonderful gig in Sugarloaf, and I was pretty blown away by that because A, the kids are so talented, and John, you sound great still. You sound
Yeah,
great
yeah,
still. I mean, that's God bless you for being able to keep all of your great vocal qualities all these years. I mean, that you obviously take care of yourself, and that's really, really great.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it must have been a fairly easy transition for you to go out and play live with the Geeks because you've been out on the road playing a lot of this classic stuff. I guess my question is, I'm sure they're well versed in the classic Yes songs to be able to play
Yeah.
them live. How was it playing some of the new material, and how much of the new material are you guys playing live?
We actually did Shine On and um, the first song, which is
Oh, True,
True
True Messenger. Yeah,
True Messenger. Yeah. And they worked on stage. It really was good. And then there was one time I got to sound check early, and they were playing counties and countries. I said, "Oh man, this is going to be great when we do it, but we should do it, save it until the album comes out." And this is like November,
right.
and then we finished the album, and then the album came out, and then I just said, "I think we should tour next spring, which is coming up now, next spring, and we should do an hour of Yes and Epics, and then add another 40 minutes of the new album, because the people will know and have heard the album by then, fingers crossed, and then you're not playing new music to people. It's music they want to hear, live.
Yeah.
So that's
I
going
mean,
to be good.
that'll be really good. I mean, based on what I've seen and heard, John, I think a lot of longtime fans have heard this album, and it's been the reaction has been really, really positive. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that
Yeah.
people will definitely want to hear this stuff live, which is
Yeah,
great.
I want to hear it as well. So
No, I'm sure you do, right? Because I'm sure for you, I mean, it's great singing the old classics, right? But I'm sure for you, being able to tackle new material probably
yeah,
is.
yeah,
I mean,
because
that's
there's
hard. That's hard nowadays, though, right? I mean,
no
eh,
what?
if it's hard probably to play more new music to longtime fans because everybody wants to hear their favorite classics, right?
Of course.
Yeah, but
So that's why I wouldn't do every song
right.
on a show. But we'll see. I think you could give them an hour of yes and an hour of yesism. That's what I call what we do. It's
Yeah,
yesism.
yeah, for sure.
I don't mind.
Do you guys have any intention to maybe do another record at some point? I know this is still pretty new, but down the
Yeah,
road.
I'm right in the middle of. I'm in the middle of putting together a bunch of song ideas to send to Richie. I just got to find the best time to call Richie. I'm gonna, in fact, after we speak and everything, I'm gonna call Richie and say, "So, what you got going?"
That's right. Well, let's get right back on this once again, right? You got to strike while the iron's hot, John, you know?
Hey, so he mentioned it, and I said I'll call him. I'll call him later.
There you
I'll
go.
call you. I'll let you know. I said.
So you talked a couple times here about the epics, right? The classic epics. So, and I wasn't planning on asking you this, but I'm going to ask it. I am planning on doing here on the channel fairly soon. I'm going to rank the Yes epics in the order of my preference, right? So and they got to be over 10 minutes long because, I mean, to other bands, you have a song like Siberia Control is like 9 and change. That would be epic to most bands. But for
Yeah.
Yes, I figure you have a lot of 8 and 9 minute long songs, so I don't want to have too big of a list. So I cut it off at 10 minutes. So anything 10 minutes and over, I'm going to put on my list for up for consideration. If you were to pick your favorite 5 Yes epics over 10 minutes long that you worked on, what would they be?
Well, I don't know how long and you and I was, but it sounds great on.
It's over 10. It's over 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, Awaken, of course, Close to the Edge. And then, well, I'll tell you the story that when Yes started touring with Fragile, it was a great time. We didn't know anything about the business, but all of a sudden we're in New York and we're opening up for the Kinks.
Wow.
And we said, the Kinks, man, they're wild. The two brothers, they're wild. And so we get to the gig and we're doing a sound check, and Ray Davies says, Anderson. I said, what? He says, come here. You've got 50 minutes on stage, and it's 50 minutes only, okay?
Laying down the law.
Yeah, I've heard you with your long music. I don't want to hear it. I said, okay, Ray. So we're on stage for the first time in New York. We're at the Palladium or something like that, up north of New York. And we're going down great. And we're just playing Yours No It's Grace and Starship Trooper and da-da-da-da, and Starship Trooper, you know. And then we'd done all that, and then Chris looks at me and said, we got 5 minutes left. And I said, Heart of the Sunrise. He said, 5 minutes, John. I said, Heart of the Sunrise.
We don't have any 5-minute long songs. Oh, what are we going to do?
So we started playing it, you know, and we were playing it away, and it's really rocking away, and the audience are really digging it and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, poof, speakers go off. And I look around, and there's Ray Davies with a plug in his hand, shouting, I told you, 50 minutes, you're off. Get off stage.
That's a great story.
That's life, you know, long music. People don't want long music.
I know.
Well, Ray Davies doesn't.
Yeah, it's not his cup of tea. Well, what are you going to do? And John, in closing, because I know you probably got to run to other interviews, I have often stated, and I stick by it, that the greatest progressive rock album of all time is Close to the Edge. I'm sure you've heard it from many more people besides myself. So from everybody here at Sea of Tranquility, we want to thank you for all your years of delivering us great music, which has continued with True. Please go check this out, folks, if you haven't. And based on what John just said, hopefully there's another one coming real soon with the Band Geeks. We'll have to wait and see. Jon Anderson, thank you so much. I hope to see you on tour next year with the Geeks.
Yes. Take care now. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. How cool of a story was that? Awesome, awesome. Ray Davies pulling the plug on Yes. I bet you a year or two after that, that would never happen, right? Of course not. Anyway, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.